All right, so today we're going to be working on our monogram assignment. So your monogram assignment is going to look something like this. So you're going to take your initials, first, middle, and last name. You're going to overlap those initials, use the shape builder tool, utilize your positive and negative space, and make them into something artistic. So you can tell on here that there's still letters, right? Letter forms. So there's an S, there's a C, there's an L in there, okay? So you're gonna overlap them and make them look creative, okay? So we're gonna jump into Illustrator, and let me close this out. We're gonna create a new document. If you don't see all of this information in here, you don't see this new file, all of this, what you can do is go up here where it says Illustrator, make sure it says File, okay? So if this is blank, go to File and go to New. Okay, now if you don't see any of this, what you can do is just click on print and it'll take you to your print settings. Okay, so over here, we're going to name this first initial, last name, underscore monogram. You're going to make sure to set your inches, make this 4, make this 4, and then right here where it says artboards, you're going to change this to 4. Okay, so this is going to give you 4 separate artboards on the same page. Make sure your color mode is set to CMYK color. Your raster effects are set to high 300 pixels per inch, and then we're gonna go ahead and hit create. Okay, so it set us up with 4 artboards, okay, which is perfect, that's what we want. Now, if you forgot to set it to 4, what you can do is navigate to your artboard tool, which is right here. And this highlights your artboards, okay? I can click on any one of these and it's gonna highlight them or select them. You can see that right here, there's a plus. That's gonna add an artboard right next to that, the one I've created already, okay? So if I wanted one down here, I would hover and hit the plus, all right? So if you didn't choose 4 artboards, that's how you can add additional artboards to your document. You can also go up here and click on the plus to new artboard, and it's just going to add one right beside it, the same size. Okay, make sure to go back to your selection tool or you'll start moving stuff around. All right, so we're going to start with our first initial. I'm just going to put my cursor right here and type out the letter W. Actually, I'm going to use different initials. I'm going to use my dog, so we're going to go type a B, and I'm going to make this bigger. And then I'm going to choose the font that I want. So you can use different fonts. You can use scripted fonts. You can use serif fonts. You can use sans serif fonts, whatever you want. If you want to combine them, that's totally fine. So we're going to go with this one first. And it's okay to go beyond your artboard. I'm going to show you how to fix that in just a second. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this on here anywhere, random. You can set it up how you want. And then I'm going to go to his next initial, W. And I'm going to change this font to something different, something completely different that makes it a little bit better, easier to recognize and stand out. And you're just going to kind of move it around. And you can always move them around after you're done too. And then the letter T, and I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to go change the font to something different. Let's go with, and they can all be the same. If you want them to all be the same, that's totally fine. Try it out, see what it looks like. You got 4 chances here to mix it up. So they're all going to be different, okay? Don't make them all the same. They should all be very different. All right, so let's go ahead and stretch this one out and just kind of place it right here. Okay, so I've never done his initials before. When I did this assignment the other day to do my primary example, I used my initials, so it actually looks very different than this one. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we need to, select all of our initials. So I'm going to use my selection tool, and I'm going to drag across this artboard, and I'm going to convert these to outlines. So I'm going to right click and hit create outlines. All right, so now I have made them a shape. You can see the outlines here. Then I'm going to go to my shape builder tool. So we learned how to subtract and add pieces to our shapes, right? So I'm going to subtract pieces from here. So you can kind of make out what it says, but kind of not, okay? So, and you know what? Some of these are going to work and some of them you're going to have to scrap it and start over. Okay. So I'm going to hold Option to subtract pieces, and I'm going to subtract like the overlapping pieces. So the T, I'm going to subtract this piece that's overlapping the B. So I'm going to hold down the Option and click on the minus. And wherever that T is overlapping in the B, I'm going to subtract it. All right, I'm going to do the same thing with the W. Let's see what happens. I don't know if this is going to work. We'll see. And let's see what it looks like. Okay, so now I can see more clearly my letters. They don't look like they're just kind of like smashed together. All right, we're going to keep this black and white. We're not going to change the color, but we're going to make a clipping mask because we want to hide everything outside this artboard. So I'm going to do a clipping mask. So I'm going to go to my rectangle tool, and I'm going to click and drag across my artboard. And then I'm going to go to my selection tool, and I'm going to select everything on that artboard. And then I'm going to right click, and I'm going to hit Make Clipping Mask. Okay, so what that did, it hid everything outside my artboard. All right, so there's the first one. So you're going to continue on with the next 4, doing the same way I did this one. If you need to go back and watch the video again, go back and watch the video, especially with the clipping mask, because you need to make sure to hide everything outside. When you are all done, you're going to save your Illustrator file into your graphics folder. Okay, so you're going to go to your graphics, Illustrator, and just hit save. Okay, then you're going to export it as a JPEG, but this time when you export it, you're going to come in here, make sure it's a JPEG, but then you're going to click this Use Artboards button. What that's going to do, it's going to separate each artboard into its own file. Okay, so you'll have 4 files. Make sure your resolution is high 300 and hit OK. So when you go to turn it in, you're going to have 4 files titled first initial, last name, underscore monogram, and there'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So monogram 1, monogram 2, monogram 3, okay? And then you'll turn all 4 of those and, oh, that's not gonna be in the right one, and your Illustrator file. All right, and then I'm going to print these, and we are going to put them onto black cardstock and hang them up around the room somewhere.